Hi, this is Instructor Jennifer Wallace with Custom Self-Defense in Krav Maga, Wisconsin. What we do here is kind of a hybrid of Krav Maga, Kung Fu, and some other systems that I've studied over the years, along with some techniques that I've kind of created on my own. One thing that I learned in systems of Kung Fu is how to use circular movement to your benefit. One of the problems people have is learning how to just do a basic circular movement. And this video here is just going to show you how to kind of pivot your body and move with some circular movement just for practice purposes, mainly for students who train with me. But as we get more and more videos, you'll be able to compile them together and use this on your own as well if that's something you want to do. So one of the greatest things about Kung Fu is Kung Fu uses circular movement opposed to very linear movement. We do both in our courses here at Krav Maga, Wisconsin and Custom Self-Defense. But this video in particular is just to get you used to moving circular movement. What circular movement does is it kind of creates a symbiotic relationship between your right and your left hand, where one hand is forward, it is protecting you, and the other hand is protecting your face. So this hand would be blocking or striking, while this hand in the rear would be protecting my face. And one of the easiest ways to figure out how to protect your face or keep your hand up is to touch the hand that is towards your face to your nose, just your index finger, because just like in boxing, people get in that boxing mode, somebody hits low, they drop both hands and their face is open. What I want you to do is touch your finger to your nose, your other hand's just a little past 90, so this is 90 degrees, I want it about 45 out, not totally straight. This allows me to catch techniques that are in front of me, but not have my arm so far out where I start to miss things, because nothing out here can actually strike me. It has to be a little bit closer to me. This hand here is my backup hand. So if I miss something with this hand can catch it. Or I will be using this backup hand when I'm blocking something to strike or block, and then this hand is going to come back to protect my center. So the key to this drill is how to learn to move these two hands together to coordinate well and to protect myself all the time. And students who are good with this, they realize that this circular movement is constantly going to be protecting my face. And we'll show in another video with another person how it's used. But this video here is just a drill on how to get used to using this circular movement and understanding how it works. All right. So the best way to do this is think of your nose as the target that you're going for. Okay. And if one hand is touching my nose, the other hand is going towards my nose. Whether it's, you can point at yourself, you can strike at yourself, you can palm heel at yourself, it doesn't matter. You can use any technique when you when you're practicing this. But the goal here is that you want to have one protecting the face and the other one doing the blocking or the striking, okay? One of the biggest problems people have doing this is they don't know how to pivot on your feet. So you have to be able to pivot as you're doing this technique. This pivoting is going to help allow this circular movement to work better for you, so that when you're striking, you're not getting your hands blocked up. I want to be able to be comfortable with bringing my strikes back forward. My hands back forward after someone blocks me or I block or I'm striking. Okay? So the hardest part is to get used to the circular movement. So from the side, I'm going to show you first. If one hand is protecting center and the other hand is striking, okay, when this hand's done striking, it comes underneath and the other hand comes out to block or strike. So in this case, I'm just gonna do like a palm heel strike. And as you see, I brought this rear hand, which happens to be my right, back to my nose, and then my left hand circles underneath while the other one goes out to strike or to block, okay? So I want you to get in the habit of bringing one in while you're sending the other one out. Okay, this is the circular movement. It doesn't matter where my feet are necessarily, okay? One is coming out, one is coming in. When you look at from the front, you really start to notice how to pivot. I need to pivot my body as I'm coming out. Now this is an exaggeration of pivoting, okay? I can do it just more at the shoulder. Okay, and if I back up, you can see here, I can actually do it with my feet, right? Okay, so my striking and my pivoting, this is a constant circular movement. Okay, like I said, I can do it with just my hips and not so much my feet. It depends on what I'm doing. How do I get used to this pivoting? The best way to do it is to think of this strike that you're throwing out here. When I strike, I want to line my shoulder up with my fist, my palm heel, whatever it is. And I'm going to use a fist just so you can kind of see my face. So if you look here, to get a good solid strike, I want to line my shoulder up with my fist. I want to look down the shoulder, aim it at my nose or at my face, and I should be able to look straight down to the front of my knuckles or point at myself, however you want to do it. This shows me that I'm pivoting. As you can see, I have a side view here, not a forward view. Okay? By pivoting here, not only does this increases my distance, so watch when I pivot. I have this much distance, now I have more distance here. Okay? What this also does, and I'll do it on this side, is it allows this hand, when I come back, to properly come up along my arm here, okay? I want my hand to come back to where my nose is or to where my center is, depending on where that person is. So when I pivot, it helps bring this hand back. Otherwise, I just have this like straight out motion. This brings it back when I pivot, naturally to where it needs to be. Because this is sometimes, if you watch forward, okay, when I pivot, it naturally brings it towards my center here and over towards the shoulder, because this pivoting is helping me, opposed to this kind of motion, which you can do too, but I'm still going to pivot. This helps to protect me. It gives me distance if I'm striking, okay? So you want to work on bringing one in and one out. And as you see, it comes underneath. It's not just straight back, like mechanical. It circles. It circles underneath and then comes back out. And the reason I do this is that if my hands are crossed, somebody blocks me this way, and then I throw a strike with this hand and they block me this way. Most people try to come straight up to get this hand out. This circular movement is going to teach you how to free this hand to come back up to either strike or block. I can block here or strike. So you really want to get in the habit of turning here, okay? And when we get into using this against an opponent in future videos, I will show you how when you block, this pivot is going to help you strike that person. It's going to increase your depth and your distance and your power. So you can do this with your feet just shoulder width apart. You can do it with 1 foot forward. Try both sides. It's ambidextrous, okay? And you're going to practice. So when you start with one hand in, one hand out, okay? And practice pivoting the body and bringing it back, okay? See how I pivot each time. I'll do one more time. Forward. Okay, I'm going to pivot. This is just getting you used to the movement. I am not going to block with one hand, and then I'm not going to constantly be switching hands. It's dangerous, but I want you to get in the habit. Pivoting your body. Look at yourself in the mirror. Strike at your own face. Point at your nose, whatever you got to do, and make sure you're looking down the shoulder when you do it, okay? Otherwise, you're going to be too straight. It is not this. Okay, it is not this. It is pivoting. Point at yourself. And I'm pivoting. The shoulder I'm looking down towards, okay, that's this rear leg. The shoulder or the hand that's blocking my nose is the one that's facing away from my center, okay? So just practice pivoting, okay? This turn is going to help you, all right? Hopefully this video helps you get used to some circular movement. Feel free to send me an email or come join us for a class if you have questions or you want to learn more.